The Pope and the environment. Francis called to care for our common home. Have you ever stopped to think about how faith connects to the environment? For Pope Francis, caring for the earth is not just about science or politics, it's a deeply spiritual responsibility. In his groundbreaking encyclical Laudato Si, he calls the world to a profound ecological conversion. Why? Because the earth is our common home, and as stewards of God's creation, we are called to protect it with love. From the very beginning of his papacy, Pope Francis has spoken boldly about the growing environmental crisis. He sees how pollution, climate change, and deforestation are not only harming nature, but also the most vulnerable among us. The poor often suffer first and worst from environmental destruction. In his eyes, caring for the planet is inseparable from caring for people. Laudato Si, published in 2015, was a prophetic document that shook the global conscience. It was the first encyclical in church history entirely dedicated to the environment. In it, Francis writes, "The earth, our home, is beginning to look more and more like an immense pile of filth." His words are powerful, uncomfortable, and honest. He urges every person, not just Catholics, to reflect on how our actions impact the earth and each other. But Pope Francis doesn't stop at identifying problems. He offers hope and a path forward. He invites the world to a new way of living, one that values simplicity, humility, and gratitude. He encourages us to reduce waste, conserve resources, and see the world with spiritual eyes. He reminds us that everything is connected. When we harm creation, we harm ourselves. At the heart of his message is the idea that the earth is a gift from God, not a resource to exploit, but a sacred space to cherish. In Genesis, God gave humanity the task of tilling and keeping the garden. Pope Francis sees this as a command to care, not dominate. He calls for an end to the throwaway culture that treats people and nature as disposable. One of his most moving teachings is that creation reflects the glory of God. Every flower, every mountain, every creature sings of its creator. When we destroy nature, we silence that song. But when we protect it, we honor God and participate in his ongoing act of creation. Pope Francis also emphasizes the role of community. He encourages families, parishes, and nations to work together toward sustainable practices. He supports renewable energy, ethical consumption, and global cooperation. But most of all, he calls for a change of heart, a deeper love for the earth and for each other. His message is not one of guilt, but of responsibility and hope. He believes that humanity can rise to the challenge, that with God's help, we can build a more just, beautiful, and sustainable world. This is not just a political cause, it's a spiritual mission. In the end, Pope Francis reminds us that creation is not ours to own, but ours to care for. And in caring for it, we draw closer to the God who made it. That is the heart of his message: to love creation is to love the Creator.